I spent 12 years loving my best friend. He took me on Valentine's dates, sent me flowers, and told me I was the only person who truly understood him. But when I finally gathered the courage to tell him how I felt, he introduced me as his sister and confessed the real devastating reason he would never date me. Throw away because he knows my account name. I, 25F, have known my best friend, 26M, for 12 years. I've been secretly in love with him for about half that time. Just a little backstory. We met back in middle school when his family moved into the townhouse next to ours. At the time I was in 7th grade, he was in 8th. We quickly became friends not long after and were spending a lot of time together. Basic friendly interactions. Our backyards were connected, so when our parents were asleep, he would sometimes slip out of his patio door and come over to my room and we would just talk. Around my junior year, his senior year, of high school, we were both going through bad breakups at the same time. One of these nights where he came over, he kind of made a joke about how easy it would be for us to date. I agreed, but we kind of laughed it off and didn't bring it up again. Then about 2 weeks later, it finally happened. We did everything but have sex that night. The next day we both kind of moved on, like it never happened. However, things slowly changed after that. This is when I began developing feelings. We both graduated, he moved away as fast as he could, not far, just a couple towns over. The first couple years of not being right next door, we barely saw each other but still texted and occasionally talked on the phone. I figured this was mostly due to the fact he started dating someone at the time. Over the last 3 years we've been closer than ever, both of us single. We talk on the phone every single day and have not missed a day, even if it's a quick hello and just checking in. He knows I'm afraid of bugs and has come to my place to kill big spiders for me, a couple of those times between 1 and 3 a.m. We frequently buy each other gifts for holidays, birthdays, and often just because. Every year he takes me out for Valentine's Day and my birthday to rather extravagant dinners and an activity he thinks I would enjoy. A few times he has sent flowers to my job just because, and even surprised me a couple months ago delivering the flowers to me personally because I was having a bad day. I've taken him on vacation for his birthday, just the two of us. And I've also surprised him at work with various gifts if he was having a bad day. We take care of each other when we're sick, like sleeping over each other's house and basically nursing back to health. He knows thunderstorms scare me and will often spend the night with me if it's really getting to me. Yes, sleeping in the same bed. He has on multiple occasions said things like, "I wish I could date someone like you," or "I wish I could find someone like me for you." To which I have replied, "Yay, we would be perfect for each other," but we always leave it there. This year I moved closer to him, about a 3-minute drive. He also works in the area and I work from home 3 days a week. We both work in an office setting that allows us to talk on the phone all day while we're working. It's basically a part of our routine. He calls me on his way to work, and unless one of us has a meeting, we stay on the phone all day until he gets off. Our coworkers know this about us. He has been out with my coworkers and I for drinks. While I have not met any of his, I've talked to a couple of them on the phone frequently, as sometimes when he's in his office, he will have me on speaker. They know my name, but have never met me in person. I work mornings and he starts in the afternoon, so when I'm getting off work, he's usually going on his lunch. If I'm working from home, he would come over on his lunch break and I would make him food. When I'm in the office, I would pick him up something and bring it to him at the office or just grab him, and we would go out to eat on his lunch. Well, yesterday he was getting off work early and I was picking him up to go to dinner and then our town's carnival together. He purposely walked to work this day because the carnival is near his office and the parking is horrendous during this time. When I got there, he was still finishing up some work and I had to go to the bathroom really badly, so I came in to use theirs. He got me and brought me back to his office. While we were walking out, we ran into a couple of his co-workers and they asked if I was his girlfriend. I said no and thought we would leave it there. He doubled down and said, "This is my little sister." I was floored. He has never referred to me as his sister, at least to my knowledge. I've never told him how I feel about him, but I've hinted around it a little, and our mutual friends have asked us why we aren't just dating before, and he has said he doesn't want to lose me as a friend. Call me crazy, but if anything, my feelings have tripled for him over the last 3 years of him basically treating me like his girlfriend. Now I feel completely stupid, like I read into things too deeply. This morning he called me when he was leaving work. His office occasionally has to work Saturdays when they're busy. He told me his coworkers asked about me, saying they've never seen him with a girl and could have sworn we were dating based on how we were looking at each other. They said they've never seen him look as happy as he looked when we were together. He told him it's just great having someone in his life who completely understands him and he can be himself around. I'm so confused. I'm not going to tell him how I feel, but knowing he thinks of me as a sister has me very shocked, confused, and just feeling like an idiot. Relevant commenters. Commenter. I'm not saying this will get you the outcome you want, but carrying a crush this big can be really painful in its own way, and damaging to long-term relationships that you're not seeking out. So besides the obvious downside that immediate rejection would hurt terribly, what is preventing you from talking to him frankly about your mutual feelings? I don't even think you need to confess undying love, just, "So the other day when you said I was your sister, that was weird, right? Do you really feel that way? And also, what are we exactly doing here? We talk every day. We are in each other's pockets as much as any two people can be. Other people are assuming I'm your girlfriend. What are we doing here and why is it so hard to talk about?" Clarity can be painful, but from the outside, if he's not calling you his sister so he can get with one of those co-workers without raising suspicions about you, it sounds like he's either one interested but shy, too legit, just wants to be friends with you but dominating your emotional life so nobody else can get in. His having said he doesn't want to lose you as a friend is setting alarms off with me, as if he knows what he's doing is wrong. I guess you need to learn if he's where you are, or if he's too selfish to be an actual friend, and encourage you, a young woman in her best years, to get out there and find someone who can give you back the adoration that you are clearly capable of. OP. Honestly, I'm really shy, and anytime I have expressed my feelings to guys before I've been rejected, and I would just hate for that to happen with him. I've done everything short of actually telling him to hint at us dating. He calls me babe and baby girl all the time. When giving me compliments, he'll say things like, "Look at my girl, you're so beautiful." Since we've both been single for so long, I said to him before, like, if we weren't both married or in relationships by 30, we should just marry each other, kind of as a joke. He never directly responded to that, just said that we really would be perfect for each other. I'm a bigger girl, and while he has dated people only a little smaller than me, never anyone my size. He talked to someone who was similar in size to me earlier this year, and honestly, she was kinda perfect. I was a little jealous. I was sure they would date. He stopped talking to her, and his reasoning was, he's never dated anyone that big, and just couldn't see how it would work sexually. At the time, this made me feel bad, not only for her, but also for myself, given my feelings. And given him calling me his sister, I kinda feel like he's been using me as a stand-in girlfriend, while he's single, as he really is a super romantic guy. Update 1. Literally 2 people asked for an update, so here I am, LOL. I feel like the title is all the recap needed, but real quick. I've been secretly in love with my best friend for a few years, and we definitely crossed the boundaries of a normal friendship, but then he introduced me as his sister to his coworkers. Well, as a lot of the comments stated, he's not attracted to me. The opportunity finally arose for me to bring it up casually. We were talking about relationships, and he was saying how he hasn't had much luck finding anyone. Things just haven't worked out for various reasons. Despite a lot of the comments, none of those reasons have been for how close we are. So as he's telling me about the latest girl he's stopped talking to, she was hardly ever responding to texts, calls for anyone interested in the reason. I said, well, it sounds like you need to change up from what you usually go for. I basically told him he needs someone like me in our relationship. He agreed. He literally said word for word, "Yeah, you're right. If you were someone else, we would definitely be together." This was my first opportunity to bring it up, but I chickened out. Then we were both talking about how we haven't had sex in a while, as we've both been single, and I said, yeah, we should help each other out. He kinda laughed awkwardly, and I should have taken that as the sign, but I was in it now. I had the courage to finally ask, why have we never dated? He admitted that he used to have feelings for me in high school, but didn't think I would leave my ex. The ex he was referring to was the guy I was with before we had our one night that we don't talk about. I asked him why he thought that when I was literally with him afterwards, and then we never spoke of it. He said, it just didn't seem like I was over him at the time. So naturally asked what about after when he realized I didn't want him back. He said he had already started thinking of me differently and now sees me as his sister. He says he couldn't go back on that now, it's too weird. It would really be like dating his sister. I didn't really push the conversation after this, I just let it end. I actually feel like he lied, which is a lot, because I've never felt that way before. I really think he was never attracted in the first place. And maybe that night was a rebound situation and he didn't want to hurt my feelings. Either way, I know the truth now, and I'm moving on. A lot of people said I was letting these feelings hold me back from relationships, and genuinely I wasn't. I've dated, and things have ended for various reasons. Also, none of those reasons being because of my relationship with him. I actually found out the reason none of his exes had an issue is because he's been telling them I'm his sister this whole time. So, yay, safe to say that's never happening. I still feel utterly stupid and delusional for ever thinking it was anything romantic, but lesson learned, I guess. This isn't going to end our friendship, but I will definitely be setting more boundaries, starting with no more sleepovers. Relevant commenters. Commenter un. I genuinely wonder why he'd use you like that. He had to put a lot of efforts for you too. It wasn't just something he was getting. He bought you flowers, took you out, came over to your place to do things, and stayed on the phone with you every day for hours. I wonder why he'd even do all that for someone he just wanted to use. What goes on in people's head when they do things like this? I really want to know. I feel so sorry for you. I can imagine how hard it must be to deal with this situation because you truly have feelings for him. I wish you all the best. OP. Oh, I did ask him about this, and he says he does it because it's how I deserve to be treated. He says flowers and being taken out is the bare minimum, so I shouldn't accept anything less. He has two much older brothers, 23 to 20 years older. They were his father figures. I just figured they instilled this in him. Final update. Okay, so I wasn't going to make another update, but I feel like we're on this journey together now. I'm not sure how to link previous posts, but they're on my profile. The TLDR, I'm in love with my best friend, but he introduced me to his coworkers as his sister. I tried to address it without revealing my feelings. He told me he used to have feelings for me, but he now only sees me as his sister. Now that we're all caught up, on to the update. So many comments said my approach should have been direct. A few people thinking he probably has feelings for me, but is also scared I don't feel the same way. Well, sorry to disappoint, that wasn't the case. A couple days ago, he sent me a TikTok of a guy saying something like, "To my girlfriends, if you've never been FC'd right, it's my duty to show you what good DCK feels like." So with this TikTok and the encouragement of the comments, I finally did it. I responded back with a TikTok I found that says something like, "When he's calling you his sister, but he should be calling you his soulmate." He responded with a laugh emoji. I responded back, "I'm serious." It took him a couple hours to respond to this. I was sure he still didn't get it, but finally he did. He called me as he was leaving work. He asked if the TikTok meant what he thought it meant. I said, "If you think it means that I feel like we're meant to be together, but you're out here calling me your sister, then yes." He just went silent, so silent that I had to check to make sure the call hadn't disconnected. I said, "Did I break you?" He asked where this was coming from. I said I've had feelings for a while, and I wasn't sure he felt the same way, so I just hadn't said anything. Well, a couple of y'all guessed what happened next. He has a problem with my size. Since this is anonymous anyway, might as well just put the numbers. Back in high school, I was around 250 pounds. I graduated early, so I finished at the end of my junior year to allow myself a gap year. During this time, I was working 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job. I know, when TF did I sleep? After an accident where I fell down some concrete stairs and broke my leg in 2 places. It was winter and the stairs were icy. I lost all 3 of my jobs and was unemployed for the next 10 months. I was extremely depressed and definitely put on some weight and had just been going up in weight for years after. Now I'm currently at 432 pounds and still on the longest journey to get back to at least my high school weight for now. He said he's never dated anyone my size before and does not know how that would work. You know, during sex. None of this was making sense to me. Every single girl he has dated is technically the same size as me. He has always dated shorter girls 5 feet to 5 feet 3 inches, and by his own account they were around 200 to 250 pounds. I am 5 feet 7 inches. Technically, the way I carry weight, the size is no different than anyone else he has dated. What I did not know is one time I went to lunch with him after a doctor's appointment, and he saw some papers from the visit in my car, and it had my weight on there, which at the time was 464 pounds. This apparently is when he started looking at me differently. He just didn't think it would logistically work out. But, oh, don't worry, he understands that I have literally everything he is looking for in a relationship. He actually said, "You always fill in the gap when I don't have a girlfriend." Seriously, WTF. I had to dig real deep into my years of therapy because my first thought was, okay, so if I get back to 250, then he'll have feelings for me again. I was disgusted with myself for even thinking that. Needless to say, we haven't talked in days. I scheduled another therapy appointment, and I don't think we can even be friends after this. I guess thanks Reddit for encouraging me to have a direct conversation and really discover how he feels about me. Edit 1. I guess the comments think I put this weight on overnight. This was over 7 to 8 years of unhealthy choices and habits where I was in a place that I was severely depressed and did not care if I lived or not. Even once I started back working, I had to take a job I hated and was having the hardest time finding something new, so my habits continued. I was working an office job from home and I was not working out at all. I made a comment explaining more, so I won't duplicate that here. I am not in any way mad that he feels this way. I'm just sad. There is also a comment explaining that too, but I'm a US size 4X, he is a US size 3X. This is part of why his reason shocked me. It's not like he's a super skinny guy. I am not in denial about my size. I know I'm a big girl and I am working on that. I know my size is no one's fault but my own for not waking up sooner. I'm allowed to feel sad and ashamed. Regardless of size, you can't possibly tell me you wouldn't feel sad. The person you love has basically admitted to using you as a place filler. Edit 2. To all the comments saying it's fake based on my size comparison, I have stood next to these girls and really did not think I'm that much bigger than them. I guess from the comments I may have body dysmorphia. I have a big chest and carry more weight in my hips and thighs than my stomach. Also, I've been working on body comp, so have kind of distributed out to muscle as well. I have lost more inches than actual numbers. A few people think I'm just saying I'm working on it but not actually doing anything. I actually mean I'm working on it. I made another comment on this, but I'm in a cooking class to learn healthier eating and making healthy meals. I have a personal trainer I meet with twice a week. I'm seeing a dietitian. I didn't put it in my other comment, but I have PCOS and thyroid issues. That hormonally just makes it harder, but I have doctors for that as well. I'm very much real, and honestly trying not to take all these comments to heart. That wasn't even what the post was about, but thank you everyone for pointing out this thing I can't change overnight.